Oh, sweet. I guess I'm actually really close, so I'll
Okay.
be at the house very in 5 minutes.
Well, then maybe I'll just leave us tiny for a little bit because I forgot to
Oh,
move us off of the full screen anyway. Because like whenever you get in, it's gonna clip me in half anyway if I leave us on the other one. So I'll just wait. Doesn't
oh,
matter. Anyway, welcome to Game Central Junction, everyone. As always, I'm your host, The Metal, and joining me is my co-host, Marsupial Gamer, who is, as you could probably tell from the last bit of information you heard, not quite here yet, but will be in a minute, or two, or three, or seven, who knows. But he's on his way.
very
And
close.
we're here to talk about games, all things with interactive entertainment, toys, collectibles, whatever you got, but probably mostly games because that's usually what I end up pulling up. And there's
Hmm.
not too much specific to talk about, but I do have some things to flavor the conversation. The most
Yeah.
important thing I think that's going on is a long awaited game released today, or it was either today or yesterday, but released this week. And we'll get into that. But before we do, please consider sharing the stream out with literally anyone you know, even if they're a hater. I don't care. Bring them in here. And if at any point you happen to enjoy the show, you can always give a donation to streamlabs.com/vomitoriumlive. Really helps us out. Not necessary, but appreciated. But yeah, so Silk Song's out.
Oh, yeah. Is that a separate game? Do they release it as
Yes,
a
it's
separate?
a sequel basically, or a spin-off, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It felt like it started out as like DLC, right?
Yes, it
So
started out as
like,
development as a DLC, and similar to Tears of the Kingdom to Breath of the Wild, they just had way too much in it, and it grew into its own game.
yeah,
Which surprisingly, to
interesting.
my miscomprehension, due to rumors floating around, I always thought it was in development hell. According to the devs, it was never
Seems like it.
ever in development hell. They were just having too much fun making the thing, but they were working
Just
on
get
it
added to
the
it.
entire time.
Oh, well, that's good. It did take a while. I guess it means it must be a
Yeah, it just kept getting bigger and
big
bigger.
game. Yeah.
So it's very comparable to Tears of the Kingdom that way, because Tears of the Kingdom was never in development hell either, even though it took them much
Hmm.
longer to make than they planned, because it just evolved from an expansion to a full-on sequel.
Yeah. That's neat. I guess it's been highly anticipated, but I never played Hollow Knight, so
You probably should sometime. You know, I
yeah.
think you would rage at it quite a bit here and there, but I think I'm only even remembering the hardest stuff in the game. Right?
Oh
I
yeah.
think playing it, you do build up like even your average player, which I think you're probably slightly above average, but even like your average player could build up the mechanical skills required to beat the game, like playing most Castlevania type games or whatever. There's air
Hmm.
dashing and stuff involved, but it's really the boss rush that I think is like a make or break for some people, and that's like a bonus thing, right? There's some people that just will
Right.
not probably ever have the reflexes necessary to handle the boss rush or the ability to juggle
Oh,
everything that's going on, because they are harder versions of the original bosses. But aside
okay.
from that, I think with enough determination, anybody can beat that game.
That's cool. I feel like I have it maybe on the Switch.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I actually own it. I've just never played it.
Yeah, because I think the last time we talked about this, I was saying, it's like, I don't know if you'd enjoy that game. But then I was, because I was thinking it was harder than it actually is. And I was only
Mhm.
thinking about, like, the absolute most challenging things in that game. It was like,
Mm.
nah, like, most people could play through Hollow Knight. And you
Mhm.
enjoy Metroidvania games, so it's something that should be right up your alley.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but I guess one of the things I like about Metroidvania games is if a part is too difficult, you can, go somewhere else and power up or get additional weapons or
Yeah,
levels,
and it's like
whatever.
that to a
But
degree in
then,
Hollow Knight. Not as much. But
mhm.
there are definitely times where you can like sidetrack and pick up like an extra health container or something like that. That might be the difference from you beating the thing that you're stuck on.
Right, right. Well, I might have to try it. I can't remember if I'll have to look and see if I actually have it.
Yeah, yeah.
I do get it
Apparently,
confused with other games sometimes.
I did not look this up. My brother sent this to me, so take it with a grain of salt. But he told me that the Nintendo eShop was actually basically throttled and functionally down for 10
Yes.
minutes. It was unfunctional for no less than 10 minutes when Hollow Knight or Silksong dropped because too many people were trying to access it at the same time. Like they were all trying to purchase it.
Crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is doing remarkable on both Switch and Steam.
Mm-hmm.
It
It's
is
nice that it's
the
out for the Switch One.
Oh yeah, it's the number one on the Switch 2 eShop right now of
Oh,
all
wow.
games. Yeah.
Neat.
In the first 5 minutes on Steam, whose shop is a little better built to handle this stuff because digital games is literally all Steam does. Nintendo, they're still a little new to us. They've kind of been doing digital games since the Wii, but even all the way into the Switch 1, they never went full force into making a good eShop, so I'm not surprised that it like that much traffic could hurt it. The Switch 1 used to have issues with Smash Brothers patches would take down the entire eShop for a little bit because everybody was trying to patch at the same time, and that they used the eShop service for patching. But Steam didn't have any issues getting it out to people, and in the first 5 minutes, already had 5,000 concurrent players, and within 30 minutes, it grew by an order of magnitude to 50,000, and then by 45 minutes, had doubled to 100,000. It is when this article was written, tracking all this stuff, right about noon-ish our time, it exceeded 478,000 concurrent players.
Jesus. That's
Just
great.
to let people
That-
know, like, how popular that game. That's just on Steam.
I was gonna look up the Twitch statistics and see if it has.
It's probably killing right now, honestly. Everybody has kind of been like, well, I wouldn't say everybody, but definitely on the internet, within streaming circles, because Hollow Knight was really big for content creation. People have been waiting for this. So I bet it's probably not the top category, because I'm sure something like Counter-Strike or the normal stuff will probably remain the top. But after those guys that are always number one, it's probably the next one.
Mm-hmm. You know, I guess Twitch Tracker doesn't do like real time stats, do they? We might
I have
not
no
know
clue.
until tomorrow. Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, it is currently the number 3 most played game on Steam.
Oh, like of all time or right now?
No, like of concurrent player base, like just right now.
Right now.
Yeah.
Cool.
Which means that I think the only 2 games that are beating it are probably CS:GO and Dota 2, which are like the 2 that are pretty much always at the top.
Yeah, definitely. GTA 5.
Oh yeah, that one's
Actually,
pretty
GTA
up there
5
too.
and Path of Exile 2. Apparently a pretty League of Legends. Seem to be the top 3.
Yeah, stuff like that's pretty much always the top on Twitch, almost all the time. Like those big active service games that have a bunch of people always playing it, especially with like GTA. You've got people doing everything from custom game modes to like role play streamers. That game just stays up there, probably until not immediately when the next GTA comes out. But probably within a year after it comes out, enough people have probably migrated from 5 over to 6, and that will take its spot.
Now this says, okay, well, This Twitch tracker does do real-time statistics somewhere.
What's funny is Silksong actually has Twitch drops. I didn't see that coming. Maybe they count it as DLC or whatever because it's not like it's a live service. But you can get a Hornet badge for it. It's through Hornet is the main character, the playable character for Silksong.
Okay, so if you go to the game, it says right now on Twitch, Silksong has 125,000 live viewers, currently ranked 20th.
20? That's still not bad though, compared to like it being a feature complete offline game competing against all of these like giant live service games that always have high viewer counts.
Yeah. I wonder if just a channel called Moon has almost 11,000 viewers all by itself. I wonder if like right now is the peak time or if it's gonna keep going up.
I don't know. I think we're a little after peak viewership, but
Oh yeah, here we go.
It's like a range, right? Typically, peak viewership, or for most things, is right around like 6 Eastern.
Okay. Interesting. So,
or at least that's when it starts. It might be like an hour or two after that because everybody's filtering in. But
what this is saying, let's see, is that the peak today was at 7:40 a.m.
Well, I could see that because probably most people were waiting to watch it and play it for when it went live.
Like, is that when it dropped? Okay.
Oh, yeah, it was
the
early.
Peak viewers today was 357,000. That is.
No, what I was just saying, what is usually peak viewership? Obviously, there are other factors that can change that.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah.
It was actually why the show schedule used to be what it was. Because for a podcast / live show, I was trying to catch basically rush hour time for most people in general in the U.S. So like you could just like listen to it on your phone while you're stuck in the car or whatever. Which is when like all premium or primetime radio shows happen, is exactly that time.
Well, that actually does rival, I guess, the most recent sort of king of streaming, which is Path of Exile 2, which I think didn't that just come out as well?
Well, did it?
It came out, looks like August 29th. So
Okay.
about a week
Well, I
ago.
knew the official release was recent. I just couldn't remember when. Technically, you've been able to play Path of Exile 2 for a while, but it was like enclosed and then like an open beta period.
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess, yeah, wow. I guess it didn't, I don't know, I don't understand this. Like, I guess it's been out for a year, because it did peak back in November. I don't know. Anyway, the peak of that, which is currently the actually leader for the last week, was only 394,000. So, at any rate, it's up there.
Yep. It is doing
fast.
spectacular.
Yeah. Ranked by average concurrent. So it's been out for the better part of one day, and it is actually ranked number 14 in average viewership over the past week.
Completely off topic, but Fizchozo has a question. He asks, when is the best time to launch a comic Kickstarter? I would say 3 months after you started advertising it. I don't think there is a particular time of the year that is best for that. Maybe right around when people get their tax refunds might be a good idea. And maybe the worst might be around the holiday season. I made that mistake before. But really, it just comes about being able to drive people there. So you have to advertise it before it goes live. If you don't have an audience, I don't think there's ever a good time. Like, you might get lucky. There might be a bunch of people that are just particularly looking for your thing, or your type of thing, not yours specifically because you don't have an audience. But they might be looking for your type of thing, and you might get a bunch of random backing that might be fine if you're not asking for a lot of money, if your goal is low. But typically it's 3 months after you start advertising it. You can build up like this hype train for 3 months, and then you do your crowdfund.
Okay, so I'm logged on to SteamDB. Current
Yes.
players 415,581. 24-hour peak 535,000. So it's not gone down by much.
Yeah, it's still going.
Maybe I have Hollow Knight on Steam. I don't remember. But is it?
I don't think I own the game at all.
How much does it cost? I feel like it's cheaper than most.
Most
seems like
indie
a
games
indie-
are pretty cheap by comparison.
Wow, they're advertising it big time on the very front page of Steam.
The
$20
original is 15 right now, and yeah, this one's 20.
Wow. Hmm. Cool. Do I have the original on Steam? EFG. Nope. I have Hollow Cure.
I do too.
A little bit different.
Completely unrelated game that it has to do with Hollow Live, but
Yeah.
that's a fun game. I think that's still probably the best Vampire Survivor like game.
I personally like Vampire Survivors. You think it's better?
Oh yeah, I think it's better. I think what the characters do are more fun. I think some of the interactions are better, and I think the additional controls make it a little bit better too.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically it's a free Vampire Survivors Plus with like cute anime girls.
Yeah. Of course, Vampire Survivors is what? $2? $3?
I think it was 3, right?
5? Yeah. How do I see my Switch library?
I have no clue. You probably need your Switch in front of you.
Oh, no. I can actually see it online. Well, have you watched any of it?
No, I've not watched any of it at all.
You know, I
I'm
think
not
I've seen
one
it.
of those people who were in that viewer count.
I always get it mixed up with Reaper. Did you ever play Reaper?
No.
It looks very similar, but it's not a Metroidvania. And I do own that, and I apparently do not own Hollow Knight.
I did play the original Hollow Knight. I don't own it, but I played it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
think,
imagine is it on the PS5?
I would assume it's on there. No, my brother owned it, and that's how I played it.
Oh, okay. Neato. Well, okay.
But
I don't
it's
know if
doing
there's much
great.
else we can talk about there.
Yeah, I know. I don't really have anything more to say. I haven't really had too much more to say about it at all. You know, I've kind of recycled a few of the same things since it was officially announced earlier this year in the Switch 2 live presentation, the Direct.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very exciting, and I guess technically today I had more to say because we had some stats on how it was doing, and that's pretty much all I've been following up on is like, how is it doing now? Okay, let's move on to the next thing.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, anyway.
Yeah, what was the next thing I wanted to talk about?
Mhm.
I do have a lot of stuff up here. It's just a matter of like, where do we start?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we could talk about Stardew Valley.
Yeah, we could. I do have that in front of me. So, we got a little bit of, I guess, news. They always call it news, but it's not. Interviews are not news. I don't care what anybody says. But we got some insight from
Well, there
Eric.
was some news this past week.
Was it?
Right? We may have talked about it already, but
Did we talk about the 1.7?
I don't think so. I mean, I wasn't here a week ago, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's true. I guess maybe we didn't. So, in the news, Eric Barone, the creator of Stardew Valley, dropped the announcement. I think it was on some live stream or whatever, some game show, but also on his Twitter in a very nonchalant and casual way that there will be a 1.7 update for Stardew Valley, which is, I think, currently the biggest indie game ever. I don't know if there's one bigger than Stardew Valley now.
It's among the, well, I mean, other than Minecraft. Which was
But you know what? I'm trying to think. I don't think Minecraft reached the same numbers that Stardew Valley is now. It's bigger until after it was already purchased. I know it was like maybe. I know it was the first one of its type to break 1 million, like way back in the day. It's definitely way bigger than Stardew now, but like Stardew's also sold enough to rival games like Animal Crossing New Horizons and stuff. Like it's hit a huge amount of sales. I don't know if Minecraft did that before they were purchased.
Maybe not. Actually, I'm curious to see.
When did Minecraft break 20 million? That's what we need to know. That would answer this question.
Yeah. Maybe there's a graph or something. Minecraft sales over time. Damn. I mean, I'll tell you right now, it's at 350 million.
Of course, yeah. Like I know it's way bigger. They broke 20 million sales in June of 2015. When were they purchased?
Oh, it had to be after that.
Is that the case? Then yes, Minecraft is was bigger even back then.
When was Minecraft bought by Microsoft? Oh, I am wrong. November 2014.
Oh, so a year before that. Okay. Then no, I think while remaining in an indie state, I think Stardew Valley is the biggest indie game ever.
Well, yeah, definitely, because if they weren't even at 20 million, Stardew Valley's currently at 41 million.
Yeah.
The guy must be fucking rich. like billionaire.
Like that game is huge.
I mean, yeah. I guess if he only gets 10, let's say he gets $10 a copy, that's $400 million.
Yeah.
No wonder.
Yeah, well, and we think about Minecraft too, right? It to get as big as it is probably also needed Microsoft's purchase, because that's when it started getting like the Realms servers and all the other things that like the smaller team would have never been able to add to it.
Yeah, definitely. And it was purchased for $2.5 billion. Man, that's kind of paid off.
Because they knew how much it was worth.
I mean, I even have a Realms account. I should probably turn it off, but my kids wanted to use it.
Yeah.
But I'm still to this day paying for a Realms account.
I own the original like Java version. back when it was still like $20 and that's it.
Yeah, I don't know that I ever paid for Minecraft. Was it? I don't know. I feel like I've never actually bought it, but I somehow own it. I don't know. I don't know how that works. Maybe the Realms account got it for me for free, basically.
Maybe.
Now,
I
here's
don't
an
know how that works.
interesting thing. Would you consider the Oregon Trail to be an indie game?
That is questionable, but if you want to count just the original, sure. I will count just the original. Everything after that, I believe, was funded and propped up by the Learning Company.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't understand quite what this number means, but on Wikipedia, it says it sold 65 million.
Okay.
Okay, it says multiple editions have been released by various developers and publishers.
Yeah, I only want to count the original edition.
Yeah. Well, that probably sold. Well, I don't know if it's sold. I mean, it was like free, right? Or did they sell it to schools? I don't know.
You know, I'm pretty sure they got money for it. Like, the school itself probably didn't buy it, but there was probably some government transaction that got money to the company. So I would still count it as sales.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, here's another question for you. Do you consider Terraria to be an indie game?
Is Terraria bigger than Stardew?
It is.
Oh, well, that's absolutely an indie game. I thought Stardew was bigger than Terraria.
I didn't realize that either. Yeah, Terraria has sold 64 million.
I did not realize. Back when I was looking at Terraria numbers, they were still at like 10 million.
However, think about this. Terraria was released 5 years before Stardew.
Yeah. But then I have to reframe it, though. Terraria is the biggest.
Yeah.
I did not realize they had sold that much.
Yeah, I had no idea. So yeah, Stardew Valley's number 2.
It's also the only game that Stardew has done a two-way collab with, where both games involve the collab.
Oh yeah. Very cool. You don't. I don't hear much about the company. It's called Relogic that makes Terraria.
I don't think it's much of a company. Like I think it's pretty small.
I guess. Founded by Andrew Spinks, or Andrew Spinks is the president anyway. Based in Indiana. I don't know how many employees they have. I guess with indie studios, you're gonna have a lot of, they don't advertise a lot of stuff about the company. But
well, yeah, because most of them are private companies, right? So it's like,
yeah. I've heard Stardew Valley has potentially more employees, or maybe they're...
Yeah, well, that was one of the things we were going to talk about today after the 1.7 announcement. I forgot we didn't even talk about it, so I wasn't going to bring that point up. But Barone said that he's taking more of a creative director role with 1.7 so that he can focus the vast majority of his attention on Hot and Chocolatier, which is, at this point, what we want him to do. I've been yelling for a while, Eric, put the deving down on Stardew Valley and move over. There's enough in Stardew Valley as it is. You don't need to add more. But then he just keeps adding more for free anyway.
Yeah.
But he'll also eventually have to spend time on his first game.
Yeah. I'd be, if you keep having new ideas, it's like, ooh, I could add to my $500 million baby here.
Well, I also think there's a point of it being a personal game, right? Up until recently, aside from, I think, specifically the music, he had made every single aspect of the game himself, right? And he even says in his quote, "I need my hand to touch every piece of new content." So there is this whole point that Stardew's a personal game. I'm not going to like shell this off to other people. Even if somebody else makes something, I need to have touched it. I like the editor of a book or something at some point in time. Like my personal touch needs to have graced this thing.
So what does that mean? Anything that, like the 1.7 update, is he going to make? Does that mean he looks at it, sees there's something a little bit off, and actually makes a change to the code, or?
I don't know. That's the only part of the quote that it says, Yeah. But I think maybe Tago, he's referring to himself as like a creative director role. It might be like an inspector, right, at a factory, where if something's coming through, it's like I need to manually inspect everything that goes in and approve it, even if he's not actually changing anything.
Yeah, I can see that. Like, at my job, we have a great big sort of main software piece, and there are huge swaths of it that, I've certainly never seen, but like even our head of the department probably hasn't seen large portions of it than other people, even though he originally built it. So I can see where you don't want to get completely out of your control. You want to see at least look at and approve every new aspect of it.
Yeah. But even based on the stuff that he's saying here, he said everything's going pretty good so far. They're just doing it at a relaxed pace. It's also one of those cases where you would not say that Haunted Chocolatier is in development hell or anything like that. It's just he's going at a pace. He's adding things as they have ideas for it, and he's got to like juggle these two things at once.
Mm-hmm. Man, he's in California, age 37. He lives in LA. Jeez. He needs that money just to pay his mortgage, probably.
Probably. He seems like a very down-to-earth person, especially given like what his life was before Stardew Valley exploded. So, as humble as he is, and he does not even take money from collabs or other promotion stuff that they do, I would imagine that he probably lives pretty humbly too. Like, being in LA, it's still going to be expensive regardless, but it's probably in the lower expenses end.
Yeah. Guess. That's hard.
It's kind of like, do you remember how there were people that were freaking out when they found out that Keanu Reeves lived in a one-bedroom apartment while, like, after The Matrix, before they even found out that he gave away most of what he made on The Matrix to the crew, because he's like, yeah, I don't need that much. I'm fine with this, like, little hovel.
Crazy.
There are just people like that in the world, It's like, yeah, I don't need a lot.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing what you can do with one successful game.
Yeah. Well, especially one that's been pretty much only worked on by one person. It's not like it has to pay a bunch of people or had to split most of it anyway. It's like it's basically all profit for him.
Yeah. He's got the board game. He's got the cookbook, and then they're doing a concert tour.
Yeah, they had like an album cover for the album that just came out recently too. That looked really nice.
Yeah. Oh, there's a second, actually, after the Festival of Seasons tour, he's doing another one called Symphony of Seasons.
It's a much better name. But that also makes it sound like it's a Harvest Moon game.
Yeah. So what do you think is going to be in So you were speculating that maybe the people working on. Wait, you're speculating that maybe they were previous modders or.
Oh yeah, I have no idea. That's just like what
But-
came off the top of my head, because I know he was working very closely with people who had made mods when he did that huge update that added more mod capability and stuff. So if I were gonna hire people who already knew how the game worked, I would probably hire some of the most successful modders.
Yeah. But did you say there was like an article about this or a longer announcement or?
No,
Where
no.
did
Well,
you read
I was reading an article. It didn't go any deeper into this than any of the stuff that I just saw.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering if, I mean, was it just? How did they find out that he's having other people work on it? Did he announce
It was
somewhere?
just a quick interview type thing, or like a question answer, and he said that he was
Okay.
taking more of a creative director role, which implies that there are people working underneath him.
Yeah.
Can't really be taking a creative director role if you don't have other people working on the project. Otherwise, you're doing all of the labor too.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I guess it was. The question was basically, is this going to delay the Haunted Chocolatier? And that was his answer was no, because he's got other people working on it.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it came about.
Interestingly, oh wow, this was 2 days ago. 2 days ago was the start of the Stardew Valley Symphony of Seasons tour. Its own X account. The music is kind of far and like it doesn't play all the time, so it seems so backgroundy. Well, I guess no. I guess Stardew's
No, there's like music that
pretty catchy
plays almost
tunes.
nonstop. You know, it's
Well, it stops for periods of time. There's no music.
you pretty much
Cool.
hear it every single time the day starts.
Yeah.
And, they go with the season. Also, when you enter certain places, like I think the bar has its own sounds that play and stuff. Like there are the caves have their own sounds. There's a bunch of different music in different places.
Yeah. Well, if you want tickets, they're at StardewValleyConcert.com.
No, I'm good.
Anybody listening? Well, I mean, if anyone listening wants tickets. Curious to see if there's any dates near us. But I don't see any offhand. Wait, they're going to Knoxville, but not Nashville?
You know, that's kind of based actually.
Oh, okay, wait. They're going to Nashville later in the year.
Ah.
Until March.
Like, sure,
Well,
it's like the music
that'd be
capital,
good.
but you know that's why it'd be based to not go to the music capital.
well, but see, Nashville has a fantastic symphony orchestra.
Oh, I know.
It would be a major, you know, they'd be really missing out. That's actually where I saw Wicked. With the fantastic Nashville orchestra. Very good. But I do not see. Oh,
I don't know, like if I was doing something like that, I would stupidly just be like, nah, man, I'm too cool for that. Everybody goes to Nashville. I'm going somewhere else.
oh, okay. November 1st, it's going to be in Mesa. And the evening one is sold out. But the afternoon, oh, well, it doesn't, it says it's not sold out, but when I click on it, it's a broken link. That might be why it's not sold out.
Maybe.
I might have to get tickets. The Aikida Theater in Macon, Arizona. Very cool.
And I guess related to the topic, I recently reinstalled Stardew to the PlayStation, even though I have no intention on playing it. You've just been playing this, like, Coral Island game that seemed like a blatant 3D model ripoff of Stardew Valley. It's like, well, there's no way that could be on the PlayStation and not Stardew. I gotta correct this right now.
Oh, is that on your account? Because I don't think.
Yes, I own Stardew. I've owned it, God, for, I don't know, like a decade or whatever? I don't know. Whenever we had a PlayStation 4 back when I was in Arlington. Middle of the 10s, somewhere.
Yeah.
Back when I bought that game, there wasn't all this fancy stuff that's in it now. Ginger Island wasn't even a pipe dream yet.
Yep. Yeah, it did get fancy. I mean, there's like the whole thing with the. Oh my God, they're trying to get tickets that crashed my browser.
No.
That's crazy. The Mesa Arts Center has a really shitty website.
Like all these games that are still popular, games that people return to because they keep getting updates. I was watching some of my friends play Terraria recently, and I was talking, like, I knew enough about the game that I could tell the brand new people who just played it for the first time some stuff, and talk to the other people who played it before. But there's so much new stuff in there. It's like, I have no idea what's going on. I haven't played this game in like 10 years. Well, no, I played it briefly in between then when there was like this huge update. I played for like 6 hours back in like 2020, 2021. I forget when the big update is. And then I put it back down and I haven't touched it again since then. So it's like, I have no idea what's going on in that game. When I recently played Stardew with a bunch of people, I had done so much stuff for the first time that just did not exist in Stardew the last time I played it.
Yeah, there's been a lot added, and of course there's always new mods. I recently started a game of it with the tractor mod, which I've never tried before, but I haven't actually gotten to the point where I can buy the tractor yet. But I have seen people use it. Well, there are plenty of seats left for the afternoon, November 1st. So I'll consider it.
And by the time you consider it, they'll be gone.
Well, maybe. I guess it was just announced like 2 days ago. But
now, the thing is, like, I used to see all of my orchestras and symphonies during the day because hardly anybody ever goes to that stuff during the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Glad they have.
Most of the time it's because they're at work.
Well, what day of the week is November 1st? I assume it's the weekend. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't even believe that November 1st is a real date.
It's Saturday. Anyway, I was going to say, I've been to a Zelda concert and a Final Fantasy concert. They were both excellent.
I've never been to either, so. I would like to see, what's the big touring symphony? Distant Worlds, I think, is the Final Fantasy one that tours all the time.
I think that's what it's called currently. I don't know if that's what it was called when I went.
It's been Distant Worlds, I think, for many years now. It's not the one that it's always been, but many years it's been Distant Worlds.
Well, I would have gone at least 10 years ago. More than 10 years ago.
That might have been maybe past the cutoff point since it's been Distant Worlds. I don't know.
But I don't know what it was called, but it was great. It was funny because, like, you know, everyone sang along to the Sephiroth song.
Yeah. Probably poorly, without saying many of the words right.
Definitely, but it encourage that people, try to sing along. But I would say that the Zelda one, in my opinion, was better just because I like the music better.
Which can be a toss-up, too, because if I had to pick between two people to be, like, the greatest video game composers of all time, it's either going to be Koji Kondo or Nobuo Uematsu.
Yeah. It's a tough call. But, they play the music from the opera from Final Fantasy VI.
I just feel upset that I missed my chance to ever see a Black Mages concert, which Uematsu's still usually with Distant Worlds. Like, he goes on tour with them and stuff like that, but I kind of wanted his rock band back when it was a thing, where they were just playing Final Fantasy songs, and he was, like, on an electric organ.
Well, the Final Fantasy tour, well, I don't know which is closer to here. Las Vegas, well, I guess Las Vegas would be. Second closest would be Sacramento.
Joshua's here. He says, Stardew Valley is one of the PS Plus free games this month. I might try it. I'd recommend. I would definitely recommend.
Have you not played it before?
That his comment implies that. I would assume if he played it before, he would have said, I might get back into it,
The Zelda Symphony of the Goddess apparently has not toured since 2017. So I was lucky I caught it when I did. That probably would have been more like 15 years ago, I think, around 2010. That was great. I got a t-shirt from there, but I don't know where it is. I hope I still own that. Well, anyway, yeah, if you haven't played Stardew, I mean, if you like
Harvest Moon type games.
If you like farming simulators, there's some fighting, but it's pretty rudimentary sort of. I don't know what you call it.
Well, there's like 3 or 4 different types of farming simulators. Is why I'm a little more specific on Harvest Moon type, and it's those quicker paced, scheduled base simulators, right? Where like you do need to pay attention to what time it is during the day because you do have a limited time each day. Days only last for so many minutes at a time, and you have to pay attention to like not just what you want to do, but everybody else's schedule as well to get things done.
Mm-hmm. I will say that Coral Island, the more I thought about it, you can slow down time in that. It kind of feels like a cheat, but man, those days go by so fast. I'm not sure that game, because it's a bit more involved and it feels like it takes a lot longer to get places. It seems like the default goes a bit too fast because it felt like I harvested a few things, planted a few things, and half the day was gone.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in Stardew Valley, you can usually do all your chores, at least in the beginning of the game, and I'm only on like day 5. You can do all your sort of chores in, in-game equivalent of like an hour.
Or if you really just know like what sells for what and how to get things and manage your time well, you can actually beat the game with entire no farming runs.
But if it's your first time.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying to do that. I'm just saying you can. Like it's a very flexible game. You can really just if you learn it, which you'll pick it up as you play it. You can kind of just play it however you want. Like you can decide what interests you in that game.
I don't know how you. have to do some farming, don't you?
Well, so there are certain passive things you can do on the side that you might even still consider farming, but it's not. Um, there are ways that you can kind of manipulate the mines to make up a lot of your money, but you'll also have to make up some of it with like the crab buckets and stuff like that too. Which you might consider the crab
But you
buckets a
can't even
type
get
of
those.
farming. That's up to you.
But you can't even get those until later. I mean,
You're going to be pretty poor early on. But the
Yeah.
problem is like you can make up for it more than that later. It just depends on how you want to play the game.
I figure you can get to those points faster. Well, depends on how you play. I mean, you can go to bed like, 20 times if you need to get to certain days.
Yeah.
You want to know how many people are playing Stardew according to Steam? At least on Steam right now.
I'm sure you're going to tell me.
Currently about, wait, what happened? Lost it. I think it was about 50,000. Imagine that, 50,000 people playing a 10-year-old game.
Mm-hmm. That's okay, you know. I occasionally go back and play like a 40-year-old game. I think it's probably about 40 now. Ish. No, a little less than 40. Which Super Mario Brothers 3, you know, like I just go back and replay that game over and over again.
Yeah. In the last week, though, it's peaked at 120,000 concurrent, and it peaks every day. Still a popular game.
It's okay, video games peaked at Super Mario Brothers 3, so it's like, you know, just play whatever you like.
Yeah, definitely. Man.
Yep, Fizz says there's farming in Kenshi. You know, I actually watched a friend play Kenshi for a little bit in a Discord call a couple weeks back. It looked extremely boring. Like, it looked like the type of game that if you're into shenanigans, you could have some shenanigans with it, but it's just like... He spawned or whatever. I don't know how the actual spawning works in that game, whether you're always in the same place or not, but he, like, spawned right next to a group of cannibals, and he had to spend, like, 30 minutes straight trying to get away from these cannibals. I'm like, this just looks so boring. But you know what? That's just me. You know, I wouldn't enjoy it. I'm sure tons of people would. It's a decently selling game.
Yeah. Okay, I finally found the page I was looking for. Most played this week on Steam by daily active users. Hollow Knight Silksong is number 2. You want to know the number 1? About 4 times as high of a peak.
What?
Counter-Strike 2.
Yeah. We do actually have some game news, like new game. You want to talk about something else? So there's a game that's kind of been in the works for a while. It used to be known under the title Project 007. We knew there was a new 007 game coming out. We haven't known too much about it. More details have finally been released, including the name and a bunch of other stuff. It is being made by IO Interactive. I think specifically by a lot of the team that works on Hitman. And so, you know, if you like Hitman games, this might be a James Bond game for you. I don't know how close it'll be. We haven't seen too much. There's a trailer for it, though. I just haven't watched the trailer yet. And it is going to be called 007 First Light. It is going to be released March 27th of next year. 2 months before GTA 6, which is, you know, smart not to release right next to GTA 6.
Indeed.
And they did say who's playing James Bond. It's going to be an actor named Patrick Gibson. We do have...
In the game?
Yep, in the game. Because, they do a lot of, I mean, obviously there'd be voice acting anyway, but these days a lot of the character modeling and mocap and stuff is all based off of the actor itself. I'm sure all of these models, which I see some visuals for, probably look like the actors. I wouldn't know, though. I don't really know, like, any of these actors by name. Like, I don't recognize them. But M will be played by Priyanka Burford.
Okay.
Q by Alistair McKenzie. Moneypenny is going to be played by Kira Lester. John Greenway, Bond's mentor, is going to be played by Lenny James. And Miss Roth is going to be played by Noemi Nakai. And there's a trailer for it. Yep.
Oh.
There's two. There's an announcement trailer and there's a gameplay trailer. So you can see what the gameplay is like before getting into it, which I think is more important. Everybody loves their cinematic announcement trailers, blah, blah, blah. The only thing I care about when it comes to a video game is show me the gameplay. I want to see the gameplay. You can throw the other trailer in a dumpster for all I care. This is not a movie. Get out of here. First and foremost, put the gameplay trailer up.
Well, I mean, that's why I was going to say I don't really care who the actors are. It's a game, but
Yeah.
it's whenever they're actors in games.
I mean, the actors can be good for gameplay too if you do it right? Like, if you actually have the actors mocapping the movements the characters will do during gameplay, that can be pretty good. I mean, not mocap, but that's Mortal Kombat, right? They were all JPEG images of actual actors in costumes in the very first game.
That's true.
Right? And obviously, when they're playing, even if minimal dialogue, the voice actor still matters because they're going to be doing all the grunts and other sounds that the character makes during gameplay. I think it kind of matters, but if you're putting so much emphasis, it's like, I don't want to play a movie. You can have your cutscenes in between, the beginning and the end of the mission or whatever, but I want to play missions. Give me a long, extended mission time.
Mm-hmm.
If you want them acting, let them act during a mission, right? Like have a hallway fight, like gunfight, right? Where you're both hiding behind corners and stuff like that, and they're talking during the fight. That's perfectly fine. You tell your story while the game is going.
Well, do you want me to show the gameplay trailer?
Yes. That'd be great because I want to see if this game is even interesting to me.
Here we go. All right. Can you see that?
Maybe. Where it's still loading. There we go.
Yeah.
It's definitely very cinematic gameplay, if they showed any right there.
Mm-hmm. It was a very young 007.
Yeah. Well, that's why they're calling it First Light. This is kind of, I think, a new introduction because they want to make more James Bond games after this.
Yeah. Well, in my opinion, the key is the gameplay if they want to make more.
Yeah. I don't ever want Bond to be too young, though. Like, I'm not really interested in, like, James Bond cutting his teeth for the first time. Even when we see, like, the earliest Bond stories, like Casino Royale was the very first one ever written, he's already, like, an established agent.
He's an established Asian?
Agent.
No idea. What did he throw at that guy?
It's hard for me to tell what the actual mechanics are, though, if this is a gameplay. Like, the driving looks fine. I don't mind having a lot of HUD or anything during the driving, but the issue with games that try to be so cinematic is like you have to put a controller in your hand before you find out if the gameplay is any good because there's like, what's the movement actually feel like? What do I press to actually interact? Is it one button that does everything and like the game just cinematically auto combos or just does these things, or do I actually have options for what I'm going to do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh. That's pretty neat.
Obviously, there's guns. And the
Yeah,
gunfighting looked okay, but you know.
I imagine it's yeah, maybe there's a action button, or maybe I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't typically play these kinds of games, but
It's like I
it
like
seems like
games
there's
like this when they're done well, but this entire genre has just always been hit and miss with me.
yeah. I imagine there's a shooting button.
Yeah.
At least I kind of started over, but slowed it down because that went by really fast.
Yeah, and it's like it's going to be made by a lot of the people who worked on Hitman and stuff. Maybe a lot of new people too. We don't know exactly what the team is. So I was expecting more stealth gameplay, which fits the espionage. Like you want big action scenes too, but and like there's takedowns and stuff trying to keep stealthy. But the gameplay looks almost somewhat more like an Uncharted game than it does like a Hitman game. So it's like really questionable what exactly is going to be going on here.
Wait, wasn't there a guy
Shooting at him or whatever. It kind of looked like it.
Did he dodge a bullet from not even looking at the guy?
Bond does look rough and tough though, and that's what I want from Bond. I want him to be suave, but I don't want him to be a pushover, which has kind of been a problem with almost all the recent Bond stuff that we've had for the last like
The
decade or
recent
so.
movies.
Yeah. Because I like Bond as a character. He's not a good person, but he gets the job done, right?
Yeah.
And he's a spy. You don't want spies to be good people. You want them to be interesting. You want them to be charming, charismatic. They're basically the same thing, and I use the same word twice. But want them to have like an edge that's just hidden on them at all time, but you can feel it.
Yeah. He did. I guess he threw
Like a
ball
billiard
at him.
stick at him and a ball,
Yeah, it is hard for me to tell.
Yeah, it's like, was that a mechanic? Like, can you choose to go up to a car and then it goes into the cinematic break-in, or was that just part of the scene because he escaped the place and now he needs to chase the guy down? So you were always going to get this car.
But it does strike me as just reminds me of GTA 5.
Yeah, a little bit. Or like any type of game that's kind of around this style of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you pistol whip someone?
Yeah, do we have like a choice that the melee is going to be a pistol whip, or is it just something that the game decides on its own when you do that like cinematic melee attack?
Throwing all kinds of things at people.
And there's a lot of people, this is what they want, right? There's a lot of gamers that they just want to play a movie. I don't really call them gamers, but a lot of buyers. There's a lot of buyers that just want to play a movie. And so they'll probably, as long as they don't overspend their budget, people feel very positively about James Bond games. The real question is, where's the multiplayer? This is what you should have showed off, is the PvP mode or whatever, because what everybody thinks of when they think of a James Bond game is they think of the PvP, right? They go back to their memory of GoldenEye on the N64. And it's like, where are we shooting each other? Do we get to sneak around the building, Do we do different characters that have different interactions? Do we have like a bowler you can throw that cuts somebody in half? Like, where are we going here?
Well, there is a 35-minute gameplay reveal.
Okay.
Also on the IO Interactive YouTube channel. So, if you want to get into it, you
can watch that later.
They explain all of this stuff. I didn't actually know there was a James Bond game coming out. So
yeah, they've been talking about working on a new one for a while, like for quite a while now. But we haven't heard anything about it until just now. It's one of the things that's been like floating in the background. It's like, yeah, we're teasing you. We're still floating around. We're still trying to make a game, James Bond game, and then boom, we drop a trailer on you.
Yeah. Well, I'll put this in the chat. Gameplay reveal. But it says in the description, 20 minutes of gameplay walkthrough, experience Bond's first mission in the field, and then 10 minutes of developer commentary, deep dive into the game's mechanics, gadgets, stealth systems, and combats.
Yeah, this is apparently supposed to be when he is still 26, talking about Owen, and in the Royal Navy prior to becoming a super spy. And so I'm guessing at the end of the game, he'll get recruited by MI6.
Yeah, there's a lot of driving.
Which technically means it's not a 007 game because he's not Agent 007 yet.
True.
You're lying to me, game.
Oh, there's like climbing on like ledges, kind of like Wind Waker. Looks like.
See, that just, again, it feels more like an Uncharted game than what I'm expecting from a James Bond game.
It looked like all of the gameplay that they were showing in that trailer was from the first mission.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a Bond game. That's what they should have called it James Bond First Light. He's not 007 yet.
Yeah. Well, all these people who are trying to, who want to recapture the GoldenEye heyday.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, the multiplayer could still be fine, right? Like, I'm not a big fan of the Uncharted games, which is looking at it is what it reminds me of. But Uncharted 3 specifically had great multiplayer. I actually think it was like the only one that had multiplayer. Maybe 4 did too. It was like the first one that had multiplayer, and it's like you can have a big movie adventure action game and still have a pretty good multiplayer on the side. So we'll see what becomes of it.
It looks like it's kind of like I don't know if you call it like a run and gun kind of game, but like if you get close to someone, like too close to shoot, you can, do an action.
That's what we call like a cinematic melee or interactive tag. It's like, I don't think you're probably going to have options on it. It's just like if you're in range, you hit it and he'll start doing things.
Yeah. But most of it looks like you're kind of just, it kind of looks like a shooter kind of
And that's what you want, because that's what
Battlefield.
most of the James Bond games have been, are third-person shooters. Or actually, the very first one was a first-person shooter. But they've always been shooters, more or less, right?
Yeah.
And that's because Bond always has very interesting equipment, so that's what you want. You want to work with the guns and other gadgets he might have.
Mm-hmm. So, seems like what Bond fans would want. That's cool.
Yep. I'll keep my eye on it. We'll see if this is worth getting or if it's trash or somewhere in between. Like, it might end up being the game that if it's just overly cinematic, instead of ever playing it, I'll just end up like watching somebody play through it instead, because this is all you need to do. I think that's the problem with like these overly cinematic games. They think, oh, this is people like these. They're very popular among like streamers and Let's Play and stuff. So obviously we're going to get sales from it. But it's like, yeah, but if there's not a lot of gameplay, then I don't need to buy your game. I can just watch somebody get the part that you're selling to me anyway.
Yeah. Well, I think it looks decent.
Shows was asking, you don't want to play a Hitman style Bond game? I wouldn't be against it. Again, he's a spy, so I think it would work very well. I'm just saying that the whole running people down, gunning, and shooting them is what people think of Bond games, even like Nightfire for the GameCube. So I think you could go perfectly fine in either direction. No, you can make it a little more stealth. or make it more actiony. And as long as Bond is Bond and you're putting him in some type of international crisis that you need like espionage to solve, either way is fine. As long as the gameplay's fun and you don't shit on the character.
Yeah, well, I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Neat.
Yeah. Well, we have some Dragon Quest stuff to talk about if you want to talk about some Dragon Quest stuff.
Always.
Yeah. Well, first, before we move to the topic, just a quick answer. Fishoso also asks, would people not like a Metal Gear style Bond game? As far as gameplay and stuff goes, people would probably love a Metal Gear style Bond game. I don't think that's too much of a question. Aesthetically, though, it would still have to be Bond. Like, you couldn't make it like a Metal Gear game, because a lot of what makes Metal Gear is the aesthetics and story and what's going on. But you could use a lot of the same mechanics and pacing and style like that. And yeah, people would probably play it. But we have to separate, what do we mean by a Metal Gear style game? Mechanics, yes. Metal Gear, no. Metal Gear is very inspired by things like James Bond and other stuff, but that is like Kojima's interpretation on those type of international espionage and Cold War stuff, that it goes into this like extreme, almost like parody of it, even though he's not trying to parody. It's just that's his interpretation. So like, we keep this part, Bond can't be this part. They have to be separate from each other. But yes, so in the Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D remakes, they're going to be what they call making questing easier with new scrolls and sigils. Or sigils, however way you prefer to pronounce that word.
Yeah. Okay. New scrolls and sigils. What does that mean?
Yeah. I'm looking for the section. I looked at it earlier that describes specifically this. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so to allow characters to learn additional spells and skills, obviously. That can be achieved from like treasure chests throughout the game. There will be 5 sigils: Sun, Star, Moon, Water, and Soul, that all originally appeared in Dragon Quest II to return in 1 and 2 remake. And they will have various effects in battle once you've collected them.
Oh. It's interesting.
And it even seems that they're taking
the first.
No, and I think what they're implying is that they're even taking some stuff from 2, and as long as it works in the gameplay of the first one, kind of like retroactively pulling it in.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
And you'll get stuff like guaranteed crits, can be something, all kinds of crazy things.
Oh. Yeah, I don't quite understand. So scrolls give you basically new
spells.
They're
and
not
skills.
exactly spells. Yeah, mostly skills, It looks like. Oh, spells and skills. Yeah, I'll be interested to see what they do with Dragon Quest 1, because there's not much to work with there.
No, not really much at all. It's just
you
go
got one
around,
character.
grind, and eventually you're strong enough to fight the boss.
Yeah, and the very limited number of spells. Not to mention enemies. Plus, well, in the original, you fought one enemy at a time. It looks like maybe in the remake, you might be fighting against groups.
In the original, you also fought as one person at a time, right? Like, it was just the guy. That's it.
Yeah, I don't think they're changing that. Though. They're adding a party member to Dragon Quest 2.
But it's all interesting. They're refreshing this classic game that you can say started an entire genre, right? Because it's RPGs that existed before that, but Dragon Quest is what gets us into what eventually becomes something that shouldn't be a genre name, but JRPGs.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like you have the choice of viewing your character during battle.
Which I like having that option, right? 'Cause some people want that old school classic feel that you've always had with Dragon Quest, where it's like my players are off screen. We have like this almost first person view of the monsters.
Yeah.
Which, similar to like CRPGs before that. But some people want to see the party members because it's what later versions of the game and also competitors like Final Fantasy did. So being able to give people the option to see the models or the sprites that you work so hard on, I think that's a smart decision.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not viewing them as like replacements. So
Yeah.
you can always go back and like on my Switch, I have the original. Well, not the original, but I guess the first remake of Dragon Quest 3, which is a lot closer to the original.
Yeah.
And then I've very much enjoyed the HD 2D Dragon Quest 3 remake, and even though they've added a whole bunch of stuff and changed a whole bunch of stuff, it's interesting, fresh take. I was amused at the fact that it felt in the beginning like the early parts of the game had like these weird elements where like you couldn't choose a gender, I think.
Yeah.
You had to, go with body type A or B or whatever. And then there was some pronoun shenanigans in the beginning, but like
After
you go
15
through the
minutes in,
game,
it's just like guy girl.
yeah, they kind of gave up. It was kind of like, screw this, it's too complicated.
We did it long
And-
enough to please journalists, and then after we know
Yeah.
they dropped the game, we just went back to normal.
Exactly. It's so strange. Like there's even, armor types that only can be worn by, males or females.
Oh, and there's like personalities that only work too. Like
Yeah.
the van is only female.
Yeah. Yeah. So like as my main character is clearly the male model, I can't pick that personality, and it's just kind of hilarious.
No, it's like the best one in the game.
Yeah. Well, I have my second character is a female, and she has a vamp personality. But yeah, it's kind of funny how they just kind of gave it lip service and then just like, screw that. Hopefully these other two remakes, they don't even bother with that bullshit.
Yeah, hopefully not. I know. So one of the things that I've been reading is that Masaki Hayasaka, who is the producer for, I think maybe even the Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake, but he's the producer for the 1 and 2 HD 2D remake, is super excited to be working on this, and he thinks it's an exciting time to be working on turn-based RPGs. Not only do they get to add a lot of new stuff that these games never had before, and you kind of accept that they're adding new stuff because the game looks different than it ever did. A lot of people have that perspective that it's not a replacement for the original. You get to just experience it in a new way. They're trying to respect the original while presenting this like classic command battle RPG style in a new light. And people are loving it because so many RPGs have adopted a more action gameplay style. And this seems fresh because of it. Like, one of the oldest ways to have ever done an RPG seems fresh because nobody's really been doing it. There are very few good examples, but most of the industry is like, no, action RPGs. That's all we want to do now.
Until I saw Expedition 33.
Yeah.
But, the thing is with Dragon Quest 2, there are set characters.
Yes.
Who, you like with 3, you could recruit different people and you could, customize them all and customize your main character. And in Dragon Quest 1, you can customize your main character. Well, I don't know. Well, I guess in the original, you couldn't really customize them. Presumably in this one, you can. But in 2, there are set specific characters that you play as. So fiddling with their, genders and stuff like that doesn't make sense.
You know, realistically, it's been a great time for turn-based RPGs. Like if you're paying attention to everything coming out, right? You've got these remakes. You've got Expedition 33. Octopath Traveler's been going strong. Octopath Traveler has been outselling the main Final Fantasy titles because they have been dropping the ball, making them action games and keeping them only on PlayStation, right? I think Octopath Traveler 2 outsold Final Fantasy 16. Was it 16 or was it Rebirth? They outsold one of those two games, maybe both. I don't know if their sales were close to each other. But then you also have like Paper Mario had its remake recently too. It's a really good time to get into turn-based RPGs.
Mm-hmm. It looks like they've really filled out the world of these two in particular. They said it went from a few, tens of thousands of pages of words of dialogue into went into millions of words. I hope it's not too much dialogue. But they really went apparently all out and expanding these two fairly small games.
Oh, yeah. And he's loving the reception of this. And hoping that it could influence future remakes in the like HD 2D style, not just of Dragon Quest, though obviously he wants more Dragon Quest. I imagine 5 is probably the next one on the chopping block. You'd think 4, but comparatively speaking, if it's not 3, 5 is the one that most people in Japan ask for. And so,
yeah,
I would assume they would do that one first before 4, but they might go in order. Who knows? But also thinking like maybe some Final Fantasy games, maybe some other properties that both companies own. You know what I think would look really good with a pop-up style world? A game no one remembers. There's going to be no demand for it, so it won't be made, but I'd love it. Seventh Saga. Because Seventh Saga already used that like Mode 7 or whatever to make the battles pop up anyway. It's like, dude, if you just made the whole world like that, that would be great, but nobody will ever make that game. That game is just memory hold.
Yeah, I vaguely remember it, but only by name.
I had
I
a
can't
copy.
even picture it.
Dude, I had a copy. I played the shit out of Seventh Saga. My mom loved that game. It's one of those ones that should have sold way better than it did.
Yeah, I guess they didn't really advertise it very much.
I think what's really going to make or break too, like I want more turn-based RPGs because I love them, but I do love other types of games too, is I want to see how, oh man, what was the name of the game? Was it like The Adventures of Elliot or something? That action game that they're making in that style. Right? I want to see how that does, because if that game does well, and that it shows that you can even do non-turn-based games in that style, it looks good, it plays well. We might see like a whole renaissance in how people perceive game art. Like, it's not going to take away these highly realistic stuff, but if the budget can keep things down too, and people like the way it looks, Square might just invest even more in it, and you might even see some of their competitors investing into stuff like that too.
Yeah. It would be nice if Square got back to its roots. All that stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
In my opinion, if they release the next trilogy, they should do 6 first and then 4 and 3. Because, I'm sorry, 6 first and then 4 and 5.
You want to do it in chronological order?
Yeah, I mean, that's what they intentionally did this time. I was reading an interview where they're like, well, we couldn't recapture the sort of reveal that 3 was a prequel because everybody already knows that. So they decided to do it in chronological order because that's the order they want.
I think they overestimate that, though. Maybe in Japan. right? That might be absolutely true that
Yeah.
even younger people in Japan know about that big reveal. But you're trying to get your old audience. Obviously, those are the people who are most likely to buy this. But you're also hoping to get that new audience. And especially outside of Japan, I don't think a lot of people know that 3 is a prequel to 1.
Yeah.
Same
Could be
with
right.
6. I don't think a lot of people know that 6 is a prequel to 4.
Yeah, you could be right because I'm betting they're talking about Japan because I know
Yeah.
like Dragon Quest 3 was a huge hit, a huge phenomenon in Japan, so it's very well known there. But
Heck, for years, because I didn't play them in any particular order or anything, so I wasn't necessarily following what was going on. I didn't know that 4 wasn't a direct sequel to 3 when I was playing 4 growing up.
oh, I don't know that I played 4. I don't think I did.
4 was the
Like,
first Dragon Quest game I
totally-
ever played.
See, I played, of course,
Yeah.
the first one when it came out. Actually, I got it for free from Nintendo Power.
Yeah, but that's what I'm
It's
talking
selling
about, right?
Terribly.
With generational differences and stuff. Of course, by now, I knew of like at least the first 6 games and how the timeline and stuff work like that. I've seen the timeline. I've seen things explained after that. I don't care to remember how things work after the first 2 trilogies because I'm not that big into Dragon Quest. But it's easy for me to see that there could be tons of people that don't know about this reveal, and you shouldn't sell it short because I don't think doing things in chronological order or anything actually improves things for older fans. Because they already know everything. They're just happy to replay the games.
Yeah, you're probably right. I would say it was a good idea in this case because
Game size, I think, is the bigger
one
thing.
wouldn't be all that impressive. 3 was such a much more expansive game, and if they want to get people back into it, that was probably a good one to start with.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of more expansive game, in the same style, there was a lengthy demo at Gamescom that people could play. And between interviews and previews and stuff, Octopath Traveler 0 or O, whatever you want to call it, it's really hard to tell what that's supposed to be, but it could be 0 or O equally for Origin. It seems to be bigger than either Octopath Traveler game before it. Like this game is huge by comparison.
Wow.
The demo itself, if you were to do every single quest that they gave into it, and this is just a demo, 10 hours. Like nobody had done everything in that demo, even if they went back in line and played it over and over again and decided to do different things each time.
Well, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Octopath Travelers 2 was pretty huge, wasn't it?
I think so. It didn't really feel like it was that much bigger than the first one. I think they did put in more side quests, and there were some more side things to do. And I think the stories were technically longer, but it was also quicker to get through the stories because the options you had available to you. So I think it ended up kind of evening out. I would probably measure maybe it's 10 to 20 hours longer than the first one. Maybe. But both games were already really big.
Well, that's cool. What is this Lost Soul Aside? That's some game that just came out on the PlayStation 5.
That name sounds very familiar, but it was one of those recent announcements from earlier this year, but I cannot remember which one it is from that name. So let me look it up.
It looks very Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
And I was on that.
Oh, yeah. It was the one where I was saying it was not Final Fantasy 15.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked all right, I guess. Of the 2 games that were like that, I don't remember if I was more interested in that one or if I was more interested in the other one that was similar to it with the chick as the main character. Because there were a bunch of games that looked very, very similar during that, like, state of play or whatever it was. But I guess we're at the end. I'll close it out by answering Fischoso's question because he's got a decent one. He wants to know, he wants to play the old Resident Evil games, and he wants to know where to start. Especially with his limited ability, I don't know if he could play any of the remakes because his PC is just not very good. But you could easily emulate any of the PlayStation 1 games. Like, pretty much a toaster can emulate PlayStation 1 games. And it's easy to get a BIOS and find the ISO files for any of them. I would probably play them in release order. I think that's the best way to go. You have like an uphill trajectory for quite a while from 1, 2, 3 and Code Veronica. Like, I think if you could just go in that direction, they had not ruined any of the games up to that point. They were only getting better. The change happens with Resident Evil 4, which a lot of people argue is better than the original trilogy. But it's different. Like, it's already starting to move more to that action era. So, like, 4, 5, and 6 are almost like different beasts compared to the classic ones. So I would probably just play them in release order. I think that's the best way to experience them. If you want a slightly more chronological, you could just play Code Veronica first and then go into 1, 2, 3. But I would just go with release order. My favorite of the original ones was 3. I enjoyed 3 the most. Yeah, and I actually really like the Resident Evil 1 remaster, which Joshua brings up, has the old tank controls with better graphics. It's the only remaster that it's the only one that's actually a remaster. The rest are remakes. It's the only one of the new stuff that I like because it is just the old game. Though 2 is not bad. The Resident Evil 2 remake's not bad. I don't think it's as good as the original Resident Evil 2, but at least it still gives you that whole going around the mansion style gameplay that you had in the police department, the STARS headquarters police department of the original game, which was a substitute for the mansion of Game 1. That's good. It's just they took the whole Tyrant Mr. X thing way too hard. That was a side mission. That was a Leon Mission B. If you did that quest instead, his other mode, and they were chasing around, and they brought it into all versions of the game for that one, and it's like, does it make the tension higher? Sure, absolutely. He could pop up at any time. You got to keep moving. It doesn't let you soak in the ambiance as much, and I think it kind of ruins the mood a little bit of the game. That's a personal thing, but it's not bad. The 3 remake is bad, though. They took the whole game and they turned it into hallways, and they ruined Nemesis. They Final Fantasy remaked the shit up of that thing. I do not like 3. They ruined my favorite Resident Evil game. But they didn't really ruin it, because I could just go back and emulate the original version, which is still the best Resident Evil game.
Well, it looks like at least the original 2 and 3 are on PS Plus.
Yeah. Great games. Love them. Absolutely. And that's it for the show. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please go share it out with other people. Get more people in here. Make sure they know our schedule, which will pop up at the end, sort of. I really should just make an end screen that is the schedule for both days instead of like just the next one. I think that would probably be better, even though they're at the same time. It's just Mondays and Thursdays at 9 p.m. Central. And if you really enjoyed it, you can always give a donation to streamlabs.com/vomitory live. It really helps us out. Links are all below. And we will see you guys no later than Monday.
See ya. Have a good weekend.